All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Crypto Bloodbath. Good morning to you. Yeah, it started, what, yesterday or day before? I guess it was, right? Where are we on that? Is it 2 days we're in a cell or 1 day in a cell? Uh, oh no, we're 10 days in a cell. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. 2 weeks in a cell and 10 days in a cell. Yeah, there's been pressure on the cryptos. Remember Wilco? IVB? Have been talking to him about switching my data provider so that I can actually get uh, put put more cryptos up on the system. That would be interesting, you know. Man, just a fun adventure. Just a fun adventure. All right. Ouch. Just hit my elbow. All right, now let's take a look at this. We got the euro this morning. You can see that's getting knocked down. I guess is the what am I thinking here? Is the I know I'm going to get this out of my mouth sooner or later. Is the cryptos related to the opposite side of the dollar? That's the question mark, you know. Alice. Hey, how are you today? Yeah, you think they are? Okay, yeah, it would make some sense to me. Let's take a look at the cryptos. Also, at the same time, you can see that bottom kind of falling out a little bit here for the currencies. You can see the euro 15 weeks in a buy, 1 day in a sell, and you see it's going its second day here, right there. The pressure on it. You see we're very close to going into a weekly sell. Line this week is broken through the time manifold. Let's take a look at it over here. Where are you? There it is right there. The pressure is the same way it's going to be on the J4X. Let's see how our line's set up on the J4X. Yeah, same situation, broken through the yellow dotted line here, or golden dotted line. Driving hard on the south side. Now let's go over and take a look at the cryptos real quick, since you mentioned them. Okay, crypto, where are you? Right there. So there's Bitcoin, but there are so many more that could be followed. That could be fascinating. We could watch the battle between the pairs, even where you could pairs trade these things. Now there's that crazy island top I keep on talking about. It's really working its way down even more today than yesterday. So you can see all this weakness. It tried to get across, but we were on a red dot, so it didn't get it across, and here we went into the sell. So you see the pressure's on, and I guess they're meeting the bottom end of that range now. Let's see if we can move this over a little bit. Like that. Like that. So there it is there. It's went down and touched that low. Ahab, or no, let's see, Abha, Kadar. How about that? I can do Kadar. That's pretty good. Hey, Kadar, how you doing this morning, or this afternoon, or wherever? Welcome to the 3rd of September. How about this stuff, huh? It's like that crazy island top going on with the cryptos. And then you can see the stock indices are feeling the pain just as much today, too. But we really got some interesting things starting to melt, I guess you could say, in some ways. There's some fascinating stories out there about the Robin Hood situation with them selling orders, I guess, or paying commissions or whatever you want to call it, and enhancing front running. That's for sure. I mean, we get that all the time. I keep on saying this stuff. No one seems to pay attention to me. That's probably why I'm on Dukascopies, because the rest of the world is not paying attention. As I take a bite of my apple. All right, let's take a look at cable. Cable's probably like the last to go into the sell here. There it is right there. Had a hard time yesterday, but today it is not. You see the white line breaking the time manifold here. And let's go take a look at it in J4X. There it is. Now it's filling in. We'll just show it to you here. You can see it's breaking down there. The white line. We'll see if it follows through. You got a red dot even going on. It's still early in the day. Anything's possible, you know. It's a you never know, you know. Just because you see weakness doesn't mean it's going to follow through. Now, if there's some heavy selling, yes, but so far it doesn't look like we've had that opportunity for heavy selling. There were some stories yesterday about how there are funds that are trapped. I think I've been saying that along. I have been saying that. You know, matter of fact, I even published something on Wednesday about it, about the funds being trapped. And an article came out yesterday saying the funds are trapped, which is no surprise because I keep on hearing from people and they keep on talking about fair value. We're lost because the fair value is so far away now. What can we do about that? I just follow the quants, guys. You know I've never really taken you guys serious about your fair value stuff. I just kind of follow the quants. They come to me, especially when things are really ugly and confused. They come to me. But they still send me fundamental work all the time in reciprocation for charts. But I don't really read that stuff. I mean, I pay attention to it a little bit in the sense of knowing what they're all talking about. But the fundamentals to me are close to irrelevant because prices are always going to precede news. And fundamental information is news. So someone's always going to front run that news. And so we're going to see it in our math before it makes it into the newspapers. All right. Now let's go over to Turkish Lira, see what they're doing there. I see the United States is selling weapons to Cyprus. It's got the Turkish really pissed. I guess it's taking out this high, right? This all-time high, 744. Today's high is 745. Inching its way up. Oh, let's see what's going on here. And I guess what we'll see is even more frustration by Turkey. And I'm not sure how that translates into the currency, but one thing is for sure, and that is that this currency in particular has a look like it wants to go the way of the rand and the ruble. It just wants to move out of this territory to somewhere new. And I mean price-wise. And that's the freak out, you know. So, there we go. All right, let's jump over to the Canadian. No one's asking for anything. Anybody want to see anything besides IVB? It's all the cryptos. Let's see. I turned on the system. Let's see. I'll tune in. I'm answering a text at the moment. Webinar. Let's see. Bing webinar. Can I spell that right? That's the world of the webinar. It's the world of trading. Electronic trading. You're live. It's like we're really still on the floor in some ways. In other words, we're on the cyber trading pit. This is a cyber trading pit, and what it is we're just hanging out on the edge of a trading pit, all of us, and just shooting the bull. Basically, we're just talking about ideas. That's the way real pits used to be. And then what happens when the action comes in? Everybody puts their helmets on, and they start to trade like madmen. And so that's pretty much the way my mind functions. Before action starts. Let's see. Bink. Someone's robot is not running right, so we got to go chase the robot. Johnny 5 is alive. All right. So no ideas? Anybody? Oh, there we go. Thank goodness. Thank you, LSLS. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that go into a sell. There you go. You can see right there. You see, I get excited. I'm like a little puppy dog. Right there. Look at that. 20 weeks in a buy, 1 day in a sell. Let's see what's going on here with the euro. I'm sorry, the Aussie against the dollar. Right there. Yeah. See, we went to the sell here, and we're breaking down. And those are wondering why we have these candlesticks on there. Yesterday we were working with the hangmen and the hammers and all that other stuff. We were having a good old time at that. So we're trying to correlate like that one there to our sell signal and see if we can correlate these things a little bit and get some insight. In this case here, we are very strong in this product in particular. You can see the white line is above our time manifold here. See the purple time manifold. Let's put J4X up there. Right there. And so you can see the white line has pierced it, gone through on the daily. Following through today. Red dot, nice. But it's still in that weekly buy. So it's just telling us that the little buy from here, which you could take, obviously you got a profit take. Now you get that hammer, you get the white line breaking down with that. It just starts to give us a little more insight, or hangman, whatever that is there. And that's what we were doing yesterday. We were really learning we were really going through this stuff, and I think we're going to do that every day. I think we're going to keep them up there so we can do more candlesticks. And if anybody wants to join in and tell me anything about it, you fire away, because I'm totally fascinated. Like I said, I used to, Nissan from Merrill Lynch. I don't think he's with Merrill Lynch anymore, but Nissan, who was like their candlestick reader. He traded in Japan back in the 70s and the 80s, and then he came in to take over as head technician for Merrill Lynch. Him and I used to talk about this stuff together off and on. Let's see. What else do we got going here? All right. Now let's take a look at what's next. And again, you got to watch out for this thing here in the sense that it's not in a weekly sell. So, they could do this little thing here where they try to drive it down a little bit. It's a nice little short-term trade, intraday trade. But, they could, before you know it, they could bounce them up again. Or this thing starts to break down tomorrow. And we start to see some breakdown. And then next week, maybe they go into a minus. I mean, after 20 some odd weeks, let's contract this a little bit. I mean, it went into the buy right where that little little green line is, back in there in the 62 area. And so we'll see what the trend, see if the trend really changes, or if we stay in that pattern. All right, now let's drift over to LSLS said, yeah, remember, it's cheaper by the dozen on the question. So, get 1, get 12, all for the same price. Okay, cable dollar. We did that before. I'll do it again. I have no problem doing that. Trust me. I like answering questions, and we'll go in more in depth with it if I can figure out where the mouse is. What's up with this? Why am I having a problem with the window thing? There we are. And there is cable. And you can see cable is trying to break down too. It closed in a daily buy last night. Where is it at? Line 13. 7 weeks in a buy, 6 days in a buy. But today, it just missed going into the sell there yesterday. But today it's rolling over. You can see the white line breaking the time manifold. So we are seeing that weakness there. Let's see. And then New Zealand dollar. Yeah, that's like 8 days, is it now? Yeah, it is right there. 25. 1 week in a buy, 8 days in a buy. Let's go find that. Right there. You can see it's trying to break down today too. And it just went into the buy there last week. And it was in the daily buy from here up. Went into the confirm here. Was it here? And so you could catch some of this, but it wasn't the most magnificent of the ride, because that was the most magnificent of the ride, because we've been in a daily buy since that point right there. So one thing for sure is you wouldn't be short. And so there's the strength there, and we'll see if that holds up and see if we can get going there or if it rolls right back over again. And then last but not least, let's look at our friend, the yen. Our friend, the yen. And there it is right there. There's the yen. And let's do this for J4X too. Let's just take a quick look at the NAS dollar, yeah, NAS. Just a quick peek, just to see if we see anything particular jumping out at it. Right there. It's rolling over too, I'm sure. And I bet the white line is trying to pierce the dotted line when it pops up. No, not yet. It's still running a little late. Still a little greenish more there. Okay. And then let's go to the yen. Dollar yen. Right there. Nope, not New Zealand yen. Dollar yen. Right there. Now that's line 19. That went into, that's 11 weeks in a sell, but 1 day in a buy right there, as you can see. 1 day in a buy. And you can see that's lifting up. And then, what is that? That's it right there too. We went into the buy there yesterday. You can see it's picking up. And we are cleanly through our weekly at the moment, which is really cool. Showing some real life in it. So there's a little bit more safety in being long, and, until it confirms it. It needs to confirm it tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time, U.S. Was that 22 GMT? So we'll watch and see. It looks like it's going to do that. It has been in the sell since this area here. Really didn't do a lot of damage. Some little selling in here, a little selling back down again, so forth. And now you can see it's trying to lift up right there. There you go, Alas. We gave that nice little tour around the neighborhood. Anything else you'd like to see? And is anybody out there also who would like to see something? As I take a bite of my apple again. If not, we'll run over to the Canadian. Always. Remember, it's cheaper by the dozen. I charge you the same price I charge for one, I charge for 12. There we are. Now, Canadian, that's line 20. 7 weeks in a sell and 7 days in a sell. But it looks like it's trying to lift up there. Look at that. Look at that white line lifting through with no problem. Now piercing all 3 lines. You see here, same situation. Fighting its way into a buy. What is that? That is, yeah, that's it. But look at the weekly. White line is not even challenging the time manifold. So this might be very short-lived. We'll see. We'll see how that does. Maybe 2 or 3 days and it'll start to zigzag in this area and then roll over. That's the way I would interpret the Canadian at this point. Just a little teeny weeny little bounce, nothing major. Now let's take a look at Swiss, because I believe Swiss went into the daily buy yesterday, or it's 2 days in a buy now. There it is right there. So 14 weeks in a sell and 2 days in a buy. Boy, you can match your cryptos against that too, I guess. Let's find it right there. Let's put it up on J4X too at the same time. Right there. Now you see here, we went to the buy here. This is heading for the third. We're on a 3rd day now. 2 full days in a buy. We were looking at the candlestick action there with that bottoming pattern. And you can see here the white line is through the time manifold this week. And the histogram is trying to get past the 0 line now, trying to lift up. Same thing going on here. Look at that white line, just rocket shot. Looks like one of Elon Musk's rockets, the Falcon 9. So now look at the solid line, just kind of nothing going on there. Oh, here we go. Apparently, we are getting into dollar strength. Yeah, I know. Into the November election. I'm figuring the same thing. We've been talking about that off and on now. We kind of think that, um, it was really funny. I saw a great headline this morning. It said Democrats, uh, you know, uh, all upset about Trump going to Kenosha, you know, creating problems. And then the next day, um, Joe Biden is now setting up to have a trip to Kenosha. So, you know, we are on the precipice, we're on the edge of exploding economically here. I mean, I mean, explode on the upside. Probably. Let's just do this really quick. Take a look at the S&P 500. There's the S&P 500. It might be a little weak this morning, but we're at all-time high territory. I mean, we keep on going through all-time highs. Um, it's been a rocket shot. They can smell it. Trump is going to win big. Matter of fact, let me tell you this story. This one really confirms it. Politics is everything but a congruence game. Yes, I agree. I'm not. I'm on the same side with you on that. Um, the Democrat Party over the last 72 hours to, which is 3 days, like the last 3 to 4 days, have been telling the party faithful Trump is going to win big election night. It's going to look like a landslide, but don't trust it. And over the bunch of days afterwards, the write-in votes and the mail-in votes and all that stuff is going to help out the Democrats, and they're going to do better. But we're not going to concede when it looks like a massive landslide. And they're telling, a lot of the party faithful, like the Speaker of the House, the Democrat leader there, she's saying it, and there's other people saying it around the country. The Clintons are saying it. So they must be hearing, and the markets are showing how strong Trump is going to do during election night. It's going to be an explosion on the upside for him. So I think the markets are starting to front run that. That's what it looks like to me. You don't think Trump's going to win? Oh, God, yeah. I don't think anything's stopping him at this point. But I'm sure that these mail-in ballot things, if they're allowed, they'll have some effect. There's judges already blocking them because they're against the law. You can't just print millions of ballots and send them out. People are getting 3 and 4 of them. You can't get 3 or 4 of them. So there's a legal way of voting by mail, and you have to go through that procedure. And if you don't go through that procedure, more than likely a lot of places are going to throw out that stuff. I figure Biden wins anywhere from 13 to 15 states. That's it. I don't see him winning any more than that. So I think the markets are starting to reflect that. And all those other stories are really getting really freaky to hear the Democrats say, don't worry about a landslide election night. It won't mean anything. I think that's insane. But that's the way it goes there. And you can see it's playing itself out now in the markets. And you can see like this digestion right here, uh, back in August going into September, in the mid of August, middle August, or I guess beginning of August. And it started to climb, and then it tried again. On the 19th, it's tried to digest, and now it's exploded again. You can't have the Democrat leadership walking around saying there's going to be a landslide for Trump on election night, but don't take it serious. That's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff. So, all right. I mean, it's not Republicans saying this; it's the Democrats are saying it. So it's definitely weird stuff there. All right, now let's see. What do we go from here? Anybody else see? No, I hear you. I hear you. I just don't believe it. I mean, I'm hearing things and seeing things that on the ground here that you're not seeing because the media won't report any of this stuff. So, of course, I don't. Anybody who lives outside the United States and thinks that Trump's going to win, would make sense that they would think that totally. As I said 4 years ago, Trump's going to win, because we were seeing the same things then. This time, it's even more crazier. So, Crypto Labs. Let's see. Let's see. Crypto Labs. That's interesting. Oh, that's a name. I like that. What a great name. Are we trading spot Forex or Forex CFD? Spot. Yeah, spot. So, yeah, it's spot we're looking at there. When we go in and like look at, give me a currency you'd like to see. We'll put it up there and I'll show you, and you'll see how well it matches up. It's spot. Yeah, find a particular crypto labs. Find a particular currency, and we'll show you ECN spot right to your table from the big banks. ECN spot. Yeah, it's spot at this point. Thank you, IVB. Yeah, it's good action. We're seeing some good action in here. Do 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 do. Lots of good action, really. The markets. There was a great article yesterday about how they've got the funds trapped. Everything's overvalued. And I've talked to some old money managers that are not that old. They're younger than me. That they're not money managing anymore for like BlackRock and so forth. They're doing it for themselves, and I think I even have one as a client to my Chicago quant, and they're like the valuations. What do we do with this? It's like that's why you're subscribing to my quant work. That's the only thing you can do. You only can trade this stuff through quantitative analysis at this point. What's that? Oh, GBP MXN. Okay, let's tune that in. Okay, GBP MXN. All right. GBP MXN. Not on the list, so let's just do this. GBP. Is that a forward slash MXN? Is that right? Yeah. There we are. Let's see what that does. There we go. No. No, it gave me the euro. Why did that do me the euro? I guess they don't have that pair trade? Let's see if I have that pair trade. Did I do that wrong? Let's try that again. GB. Oops, let's try the letter B instead of N. B. P. Forward slash. Now, why didn't that give me capitals? Shift. Oh, caps on. Okay. Shift. GBP forward slash MXN. It doesn't want to give me that. I'm not sure why. Let's see if we can find it over here. I guess we'll have to show Crypto Labs through a more fundamental one. And let's do this one. Let's turn this into it just for a few seconds. Format instrument. Let's see. GBP. I don't think we've ever looked this one. So let's add the symbol. GBP. Look up. There it is right there. Add. Okay. Close. There we are. And then let's do this one down here too. GBP. There we are. And there it is. You can see here. It's a lot like the. I guess look at that. It just one day off, I guess, like right there for the sell, and it didn't really, I don't know how to measure that, and then it goes into the buy here, so you can see the strength there. That's pretty cool. Now we've been in the sell since here, and it did roll over. You can see it's battling its way. Look at the time manifold and the white line through the time manifold. Maybe we should make that a little bit bigger or brighter. Let's see, it's that one right there. You can see that's driven down to there. We've been in this one. In this case here, this thing was in a buy for weeks. Look how long that was in a buy. So it went into the buy here. Then I guess the dollar, was it the dollar Mexican peso, went into a sell here, and I guess it must have gone into a buy again. I guess I'm not sure. And then we'll have to go back and look at that. And you can see here it stayed in the buy, and we can literally remove that altogether. This is the, and these lines are handwritten in, you know, to emphasize the indicator itself. So you can see here it went into the sell there, just like the dollar Mexican peso did, and the buy here is a little early. This is even, yeah, I see why you would look at this. This thing has a little bit more accurate, you know. I hear that. I see that. I see IVB. I see why. That's a really good tool to pay attention to, you know. Okay, so crypto says, so when we buy or sell, we are using our balance money to exchange it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds right. It's confusing because a lot are using CFDs, okay, which are just contracts, right, and not owning the real asset. Yeah, that's correct. And so, so IVB says, no problem, mate. Okay, and then he says, Doc, yes, exactly. And then, yeah, it's a great tool. That's a really good tool. Should we leave that one in the system instead of the dollar Mexican peso? Or we can always go back and forth if you want to see it, you know. And then crypto says, I'm worried that most, if not all, brokers today are just contracts. In the States, they really push for contracts, and we did something like this. What's today? Today's Thursday, right? So let me show you something. Look at this. This is a contract. I'm going to show you something that's really hideous. And that is the euro contract versus the euro cash. We have a client that's is trading the euro contract, and let's see, is it opening? Or did I go to the wrong button? Open. There it is right there. Here it comes. And so they're trading the euro dollar contract, right? Which is right there. Look at this thing. Went into a sell here. I mean, this is a piece of garbage. The contract is really, we've had conversations now since we've seen this happen. So what we did is we send them the spot. Now there's the spot. Look how smooth and organized it is. And it goes into a buy, it makes money. You know, it goes into a sell, it goes down. You know, it goes into a buy here, it goes up, it makes money. It goes into a sell, nice profit. It goes back into a buy. You get a couple of days of win. You know, it gives you a sell. It actually goes down. It goes back into a buy. You go up again. Look how smooth that is, right? And then look at this garbage. There's the garbage. This is a futures contract. Look at that. It looks like something out of a circus. You know, I mean, it did get the buy there, I guess, because we were in an overall buy. So it does run up, and that's all right. I'll take that. But look at this garbage. Red dots everywhere. You know, when we go to J4X, and you take a look, there it is right there. I mean, it's just, look how smooth that is, the cash. And look how sloppy the future is. But it has to be kept in line, remember. So the arbitrageurs keep it in line. So what they're probably doing is because there's a premium to the futures contract. So they're selling the futures contract and buying the spot. Just like the way the London gold dealers buy the spot and sell the New York futures contract. Let's see. Crypto's worried. Loves, yes. Okay. Now Les says, whenever you are free, may I ask, is the Bitcoin can be analyzed the same way that major spot? You know, I would think so. That's why I've been thinking about dropping what I'm using as a provider and going to something else that actually has a lot. It has everything I'm using now, except for it has lots of cryptos. It would be very interesting to see the cash crypto trading against. I wonder if I can get. I probably can get the cash crypto. Let's see what that looks like with Bitcoin. And let me close this garbage. And then okay, and then crypto says the problem also with the contracts are the dealing desks. Yeah, and Forex is and its efficiency at its best. That is why I love it. I agree with you. We traded options on the cash, the spot, not the futures contract. Yeah, I agree with you totally, IVB. Dealing desks hedge against your trades. Exactly. Exactly. They're trying to buy the spot from you and you're selling it, and then they go and sell the futures contract. Let's see, where am I at here? I think I can put the Bitcoin cash in, and I'm not even confident that my provider is doing that good a deal. So what we'll do is we'll make a copy of this and copy window, and then paste it, and then let's see if we can do that. Format instrument. B. I think they have a cache. There is a cache symbol, but it doesn't like to come up. I forget what the malfunction is, but it doesn't come up, and I guess I can't even, like, when I tried. Oh, crypto. Oh, there is cryptos. BT. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to even come up. I think there's like a symbol that will do it in front of it or something like that. I go with B. I've seen it in there. Let me see. Let me see if we can hunt it down. It would be nice to see the spot. I have to go into the quote manager. Let's see. Cache. Let's see what that does. Not there. Stocks, options, indexes. Maybe in this area here. There you go. No, that's BQ. We'll have to look into that a little bit more. Yeah, see that? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. That could be it right there. XBTM9? It's got to be a cache of some form. I know I've seen it. There's another one. CME Cryptos. There it is. What is that? That is at BTC. Let's see if we can find that. Alright. So at BTC. Format instrument at BT. Okay, there we are. See, that says it's a November future. Wonder if we get. Let me just move this for a second. Okay, no, that's the same thing as that's the futures contract. So they're not showing us the cash. Yeah, see, that's what I want to see. That's what Wilco and I were talking about, being able to see the cash. Let's see. Let's see. Crypto says hedge against you. Also, they hunt your stop limits. It's shady. Yeah, I hear you. What about gold? If let's take a look at gold since you asked for it, because Doc's looking for anything to throw up on the screen. Okay. Or talking about it. If not, ask for it. There's December gold. We've been in a daily sell for a bunch of days. Hasn't really gone anywhere. You can see it over here. on the spreadsheet. Line 6, 21 weeks in a buy, 5 days in a sell. And let's put it up on J4X. See if there's any insight to it all. Right there. And let's see, what do we have here? So we have that sell thing going on there, and then, but it hasn't really dropped in price much, actually. I mean, we've had a really interesting drop. We went from 2,000 in the futures contract just over the last couple of days. See, it went from 2,000 down to, where's that at now? 1939. 1932 is the low, so it's dropped $68. That's pretty interesting. And we've been in a sell since here, and it ran up and then has run down. It refuses. You can see here it's trying to, the white line's been below. We wrote an article about that a week and a half ago, saying if we see the white line closing above the time manifold, maybe it would be a sign of some real buying. But so far, that has not happened. So what about gold? If, for example, you want your gold in physical form, can you request that? They make it very tough to take delivery, I can tell you that. You can buy coins and so forth, but it's really hard to get hold of gold ingots or big bars. So, and Crypto Labs smiles. I like that. So, we're gonna find a way to. Like I said, I've been looking. It would cost me about $80 a month more, so it may be well worth putting out the $80 more a month to be able to see the cash cryptos all together, and then we could play with them and look to see how the futures contract is playing to them. All right, let's see. See, this is moving down on J4X. You see, in the futures, we've just been in a sell for days. So, all right. Want to look at silver real quick since we're here, and do the same thing over there. Same situation. Been in a daily sell for 5 days, going on 6 now, and it ran up and refused to get into a buy and has rolled over. We're finally moving down, and you can see as I just say that to you. Look at that. The white line is below the zero line, and so is the histogram. They're both minus at the moment. If they close like that tomorrow, then that's going to be telling us that there's some sellers out there. I thought we would get a bottom again and get going, but so far it's not doing it. So this may be just the test. We'll see. U.S. session is coming. Yeah, it comes on in about 16 minutes. I'll jump out about 14 minutes, about 2 minutes beforehand, and then we start swinging the big stick. So, a little surprising there. I hadn't looked at the silver that closely until just now. I mean, I watched it. I looked at it last night, but didn't realize. I mean, I knew it was close, but this morning they're really pushing it underneath. So we'll see. See if they start to press the product, into a weekly sell. And that is really the big gig there. That is it right there. So that is that. Also, we've been seeing this. This is another thing too. Oil's been dropping. Doc, what do you think of GAN angles? Oh, I love GAN. WD. Brilliant. I've got some great stories about WD. He's really sharp. He teamed up with R.N. Elliott the last years of R.N. Elliott's life. Daniel, what's happening? You can see we have the candles on most of the products now. So we're really chasing after the candlestick patterns there. But love GAN angles. GAN does a fine job. My math works really well. It helps predict GAN points really well, my math. So, I have no problem with GAN. It gives me a heads up where the GAN point will be. before it even projects it itself. And that's always neat. Turkish Lira going down. Yeah, I know. At all-time highs again. They started selling military equipment to Cyprus. That's got Turkey really pissed off. Look at it there. And the high now is where's the high now? It's still the same, 45.28. So that pressure is on, and the high was 44 here. You see there, 44.63. So they're pushing this thing, and it's got pressure. And we're probably going to be, what is that? That's line 17. Is it 17? Where's that? Yeah, line 17 on the spreadsheet. We're 39 weeks now on a weekly buy. 39 weeks. Look at that. 39 weeks. 2 days in a daily buy. And you can see right there. But 39 weeks. Ever since back here in December 12th, we've been in a buy. It refuses to leave it. It's tried a few times. Once or twice it's gotten close. About 12 weeks ago or so, it got close. The white line dropped underneath the zero line, but the histogram just stayed 0 or plus, something like that, and kept us in there. Yeah, S&P's all-time highs. I was saying to IVB, I think they're smelling the election totally. The Democrats here are now telling the party faithful that Trump will look like he wins in a landslide on election night, but don't worry, we're not going to we're not going to give up. We think that we're going to come in with enough mail-in ballots, to basically take care of that. So I'm sure that's what they're going to do, is they're going to do that mail-in ballot thing. I mean, people are getting 3 and 4 of these things in the mail. I mean, they're flooding millions of these mail-in ballots illegally all over the place. I don't know how many judges are starting to deny them, but I'm sure they'll find judges, somewhere that will not deny them. So we'll see what it does there. Feds are printing QE. It's not as much as they print it. They just have one giant portfolio at this point. So in other words, it would be different. They're definitely propping things up. Crypto Lab, you're totally right. They are propping things up, but at the same time, there's tons of money out there. 14 trillion euro floating around in the minus. So that money, every so often, these money managers need to make money. If they don't make money, sooner or later they get fired. So they're jumping on board, and they're terrified at the same time. I'm hearing that over and over and over again. Yep, enormous amounts of paranoia. Because the fundamentals don't match anything like what we're seeing. And because of that, it's got them all over the place. Les says, may I ask about the swap rate? If a position opened on 2nd September, closed on the 3rd, can the Labor Day as it's on the 7th affect the rate of this position? Probably, yeah. Swap to 4 times higher. I don't know about that. I'm sure they'll do a compensation. I can't remember how they did it exactly, but they used to. I remember that for like Christmas and so forth and New Year's. Oh yeah, there's no doubt that it's a bubble, all right. But someone was saying to me about Greenspan. Remember when Greenspan in '95 called it exuberance, and the stock market was like, the Dow Jones was at like 4,700 and went on to run up to 10,000 when he said exuberance. He was trying to say that it was a bubble, right? And it almost doubled. It went up like, another 3,000 at least until it did some correcting. So I hear you. It's matter of fact, on the volatility index, has never been this high at all-time highs since the internet bubble of 2000, 1999, 2000 internet bubble. So yeah, you're right. It's there. Problem is that there's no other game in town. Money managers need to have something that's going up in value. They've got to have something in their portfolio that's going up in value. They don't have a choice. They've got to do something. If they don't, they're going to get fired. So they they're just, also there's some pressure on the call sellers, the option call sellers. There's been some pressure on them because the dealers don't hedge correctly when they sell the calls to their clients. So in other words, they're not bringing it to the market. They're putting it in their own portfolio, and that's putting pressure on them, and that's forcing them to buy the stock indices also. Did that come out today? The trade deficit? That could be interesting. But again, our country is relatively closed, so I mean, the government has shut us down. The different state governments, especially these blue states with the Democrats, they just refuse, and they keep on breaking the law. It's really weird. So, so it's so hard to measure the economy. You can tell it was a Democrat strategy because all their commercials say this is the Trump economy. It's like, no, it's the COVID-19 economy. That's what that is, and it's basically the Democrat economy because the Democrat states are closed. They refuse to open. All the Republican states have opened up, and they're doing fine. So that's why the market, I think, is moving up because when Trump landslides, the stock market is going to go nuts because the COVID closings are going to be over with on November 3rd. That's pretty much what everybody's saying. It's everywhere in the streets and the restaurants and everywhere that you can go where other people are. People who don't vote Republican are talking about voting Republican because they've had it with the Democrats. But you're not going to see that. IVB is truly representing what our media is saying. And so if you live outside this country, IVB is totally right. That's the only way you could interpret what's going on. You'd have to believe that Trump is going to lose. But the Democrat Party is preparing for a victory for Trump. So that tells you something right there. You think Trump will take the economy down? Look what he's done over the last 3.5 years. He's really powered the economy up. Why would it go down? I think the U.S. economy is in bad shape. No, not at all. We're an island. We can manufacture. There's what 9 or 10 automobile manufacturers here in the states. We don't even have to buy vehicles from outside the United States. We can buy Mercedes that are built here. We can buy Lexuses that are built here. We can buy BMWs that are built here. Then we can buy the American companies like Chrysler and General Motors and Ford. And then we can buy 4 of the Japanese companies. We don't have to go outside the country. In other words, we can handle a weak dollar and have a strong economy. So, no, the economy is doing really well. And he hasn't taken the economy down before. He's too much of a businessman. He keeps on doing things positively. He's too smart. So I wouldn't worry about the economy getting weak around here. You're seeing the weakness now. This C19 economy and the blue states battling to hold the economy down. That's pretty much where it's at this point. So, and if you're not living in the states, without a doubt, you have to believe exactly what IVB and Crypto Labs is saying. How can you not believe that? I mean, all our major networks are saying that over and over every day. Crypto Labs and IVB are just reading these things and seeing these things, and it would make sense to them. I agree with you. It would make sense that everything they say, but in reality, when you're physically here, it doesn't work that way at all. So, all right, let's see, what do we got here? We're getting close to the end here. Anybody want to see anything else before we run away? Run away, run away. So, let's see. We looked at. Oh, we didn't see crude oil. Let's see what crude oil's doing. There's crude. That's October crude. And we've been in a sell there for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going to 7th day. You can see the white line has been hugging the time manifold, and you can see we've been going nowheres for weeks now. And just sideways up, sideways down. And now we've broken the zero line here. And I see it, zero line right there. And can you see that? Yeah, I guess you can. There's the zero line right there. And you can see the histogram is minus. So they're putting some pressure on the oil, which has been in a buy since right there. So I guess it's 1 over. Shouldn't be there. Should be there. There it is. Hey, no problem, crypto. Yeah, you can't believe the media. They're crazy. They are really crazy people. Well, they're owned by the Democrat Party, so I mean, you know, it's not as much as they're crazy. They're just spinning, you know, their policies. That's all. Nothing, you know, I mean, that's normal. I mean, there's always spin going on somewhere, you know. So, but yeah, they're what they publish 9 out of 10 times is literally not. It doesn't pan out in the end. It's always false or fake, you know. All right. So there's the oil, and you know what we should do is we should do those candles on that. I want to see what the candles look like on that. Let's see, which one's this? Up is white, and down is yellow. Let's make them a little bit wider, just to try to see what the flavor is, because we are really getting into the groove of this candle patterns. And let's widen this out. Little hangman there again, right? And what's that, a shooting star right there where we went into the daily sell? Interesting, you know. So, all right, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. We will catch you again tomorrow, because tomorrow is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. All right. Happy trails to you. Remember, I'm the singing trader. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails, candle traders, and all my traders.